Yeah. There we go. There I am. There's my face. You're welcome. Cool. I'm going to get Clip Studio Paint and I am going to share the screen. It would help if I shared the screen. Boop. Share. Looks like it's working. Is it working? Yeah, it's working. Woohoo! Goal achieved. Okay. All right. I am here all set up with a giant mug full of popcorn, because why not? Also, mug full of tea, and I am ready to do this live draw. All right. Cool. Thanks for joining me today. We're going to be drawing some monsters. As soon as I get this Nat 1 die off the screen. Save progress and X. All righty. Hello, Carlos. Good to see you. Good to see you too, Solar Flare. I see you in the comment section. All right. So for today's Monster Madness live draw, we got a lot of different options for monsters. So I could do orcs. I could do more goblins or kobolds or owlbears or I saw somewhere that there was a gigantic squirrel option. So there's that. There's also lots of other classic monsters from Dungeons and Dragons or even Pathfinder that I could draw. So shout it out in the chat what I should draw. While you're thinking about it, I'll go ahead and make this announcement here, because I was talking about this with NeverEnding. NeverEnding is sponsoring this live draw. So click like to enter our giveaways. We are doing 2 giveaways this particular live stream. If this stream gets 20 likes, I will give a free signed copy of Dragons, a sketchbook, to one lucky viewer who is watching the live stream right now. If we get 40 likes, whether on stream or in the replay, if we get up to 40 likes, NeverEnding will give a free health potion vial to one lucky viewer. So there's our 2 giveaways that we got going on right now. Mad vote for gigantic squirrel. Okay, so we got 1 vote for gigantic squirrel. I was doing a request for a friend. I take it your friend asked you to write in the comment section, "I love Big Juicy," because that's my guess. Anyway, yes, we're doing a giveaway. All you got to do to enter the giveaway is just click the like button down below. If this stream gets 20 likes while we are live, I will give away a free signed copy of Dragons, a sketchbook to one viewer who is watching right now. So to enter the giveaway, just hit like, share this stream with your friends. Let's get this going. All right. Gigantic squirrel was the first vote, so we are going to make a gigantic squirrel. First, I got to get the sheet up real fast. We're going to go with, you know what? I like this guy. I wanted to show him off. Here, I'll turn off the tint. The tint was there to help save my eyes because I've been staring at white canvases for like 4 weeks now, and I really needed to like save my eyeballs. But this guy that I drew is a night walker, he was a lot of fun to do. He's just freaking huge. Anyway, I'll go ahead and clear out some layers here, and I have the human down here for scale. So let us delete these layers. We're going to make this an enormous squirrel. And we're going to widen the canvas a little bit because the tail is going to take up a whole bunch of room too, more than likely. Save as. Monster sheet, giant squirrel. Boop. Okay. Now, sorry, there's a little blackbird outside my window, and he's just like looking absolutely derpy. Anyway, squirrels. I don't imagine I would have to use too many visual references for this, because there's actually like a colony of squirrels that live right outside my window. There's one who we've actually nicknamed Mr. Rogers because he lives in our neighborhood. And he's somewhat friendly. He doesn't actually get super duper close to us, but he likes to just pop in and make a visit. So we call him Mr. Rogers. Let's see. Might need to enlarge the head now that I think about it. Whoop. Yeah. There we go. The real question is, how big do the nuts have to be for this giant squirrel? Or does this giant squirrel eat people? Questions to think about. I will be referencing some squirrel photos or reference pictures later, though, just to make sure that I get the back legs right. Because usually when I see squirrels outside my window, they're in motion. They hardly ever hold still. Enlarge the canvas a little bit, too. There we go. Because the tail is taking up a whole bunch of room. Okay, that's a pretty good basis for the giant squirrel. I am going to look up some reference images, though, just to make sure that I got the legs right. My friend wants me to draw a protogen, and I'm like, I can't even draw a circle. I'll be honest, I don't know what a protogen is. Let me look that up really quick. Protogen. Like, what is that? Oh, okay. Yeah, that actually looks relatively complicated. Yeah, I don't blame you being stumped on that one. We got a Twitter request for Daros at some point. Sure. Giant dire squirrel, because all cuteness is dire. Ooh, yeah, I'll add spikes. Looks like that's a second of the vote to make it a dire squirrel. Yes, yes, yes. That works for me. Alrighty. Yep, I'll go ahead and leave the info up at the bottom here. If this stream gets 20 likes, I will give away a free signed copy of my book, Dragons, a sketchbook, to one lucky viewer. Dragons, a sketchbook is actually a collection of drawings that I did for Inktober last year. Usually, when Inktober happens, somebody puts together a prompt list. I believe it's Jake Parker who puts together the prompt list. And I know that there's a lot of thought that goes into that prompt list, but whenever I do Inktober, I ignore the list. And I want to draw according to whatever theme that I'm working on. And last year's Inktober, I drew dragons because I've always wanted to draw an entire sketchbook full of dragons. So that was what I did. And then I collected all of those sketches into one book, and that is Dragons, a sketchbook. So there we go. Backstory. Squirrel. Let me look at some reference images here. One of the first ones is just a squirrel holding this like enormous freaking peanut that's like twice the size of its head, and it just shoved it into its cheek, and its cheek is like out to here. This is great. Okay. Now I have a better idea of how the back leg looks like. Okay, so it's weirdly, the back leg is mostly just thigh. Today, you will learn everything that you did not know you needed to know about how to draw squirrels. So their back leg is just 90% thigh, 10% toes, at least when they're sitting. So also, their toes are just so very, very claw-like. Spike, spike, spike. Because this is going to be a dire squirrel. Giant dire squirrel. Because why not? Eyebrow ridge with spikes. Almost makes it look lizardy, because bearded dragons in particular will have the like spiked eyebrow ridge. Gives them personality. And then the nose, which, okay. Nose is slightly different. It's not necessarily like a little triangle bit. It's more like an extension of the nose ridge and then suddenly loop for the nostril. Again, everything that you did not know you needed to know about how to draw squirrels. Their front paws look upsettingly like hands. I just realized, like looking at some of these pictures, like their front paws are very hand-like. That's minus a thumb. Like they have like a little joint that could be a thumb, but there's like no proper thumbs. It's just like nubbins. This is so weird. I am learning way more about squirrel anatomy than I ever thought possible. Oh, heck yeah, we're getting there. That's awesome. Thank you for the update there, Solar Flare. All right. Yeah, I'll go ahead and leave this up. If the stream gets 20 likes, I'll give away a free signed copy of Dragons the Sketchbook. If we go above and beyond and we get to 40, then NeverEnding will give a free health potion vial to one lucky viewer, because that's a fun incentive. So I'm drawing the sketch of the protogen and is looking better than I expected. Awesome. If you have an Instagram, I want you to tag me on Instagram. I'm on Instagram at Kelsey D. Crawford. That's Kelci. D as in dog. Yeah, so if you're on Instagram, tag me. I would love to see that. Get that little info blurb back up. Okay, back to drawing this dire squirrel. Spikes on the thighs. Right along the thigh ridges, because yes. And along the shoulders as well. But yeah, that's learning everything that I did not know I needed to know about squirrel anatomy. Hold on, I can draw the paws a bit better. Here we go. Here's the weird little thumb nubbin that they have, which is just, again, upsettingly looks a lot like human hands. Oh, by the way, Jamie, I'm just really curious. What was that monster request on Twitter? Let me know. I don't have Instagram. The big oof enters the chat. I'm sorry. Didn't mean to call you out like that. I'll take a look if I can. I'll take a look later. But still, if you shared it in the chat, thank you. Right now, I'm streaming through a service called StreamYard, and if you posted a picture in the chat, StreamYard is not loading it. So sorry. But if you find a way to share it, just tag me. My social media links are through Linktree there. So like, if you get done and you want to tag me, like find my social media links on Linktree. I have Instagram, Tumblr, and a few other places. So yeah, it's also Linktree. Gets you to my online store. This upcoming week is the last week that you can get stuff through my Store Envy store at a big discount. So all mini comics are $1, regardless of how big they are. All of my comics are at least $1 off the cover price. Some have an even bigger discount than that. And my prints are either $2 off or they're half price, depending on their size. So my store is available through the Linktree here. Check it out. Prices are in effect until next week. You have until next week on May 22nd to take advantage of these low prices. The sales will help out with the move because yes, I am moving. I'm moving to a new apartment on June 1st. So that's exciting. All right, so we got the upsetting nubbin over here. We got the squirrel paw here. We got this here. We got the tail. I think we're ready to start inking this bad boy. And then I just realized that I was drawing on the wrong layer. Okay, hold on. I have an idea. I'm going to just use the lasso tool. I'm going to wrap around this human for scale, and I'm just going to move him over here just a wee bit. That way I can wrap the lasso tool around this here dire squirrel that I just drew. Cut, new layer. Dire squirrel pencils, paste. And there we go. So that's done and fixed. Save your work often, kids, and always check and make sure that you're drawing on the right layer. Dire squirrel inks. We're going to set the pencil layer to 50% opacity. That way we can actually see our ink lines. There we go. Save often. Save always. Alrighty. Do you have mangas? I would consider The Legend of Jamie Roberts a manga because it's very manga inspired. The Legend of Jamie Roberts #1 is available on Store Envy. So check that out through my shop on my Linktree here. So be sure to check that out. I would also consider the Charlie and Clow Adventures to be manga inspired as well. So there you go. Charlie and Clow is about a punk college girl and a guardian angel teaming up together to beat up monsters. And The Legend of Jamie Roberts is about a genderqueer pirate and their two best friends treasure hunting in a land full of dragons. If that so tickles your fancy. I'll go ahead and leave the link tree up a little bit longer, and then I'll switch it back over to our giveaway announcement, because if we can get those 20 likes, I will give away a free signed copy of my one book, Dragons, a Sketchbook. If you wanted to get a sketchbook full of dragons, this is your live stream to get that to happen. Here we go. Click like to enter our giveaways. And there we go. I'll leave that announcement up. Okay, back to the dire squirrel. Sipping my tea. Okay. I thought I saw movement out the corner of my eye. We're good. almost want to give him the squirrel here like the long pointed ears, but the squirrels that I see more often than not are the ones with the little dinky round ears. So I think I'll do dinky round ears first. Might do a giant squirrel variant where there's one giant dire squirrel that has the pointy ears. Don't know. Earlier this week, I did 2 frost giant variants. So one with a beard, one without. I also started drawing orcs yesterday. Before yesterday went to absolute complete poo. But I did draw an orc, and boy, was he a lot of fun to draw. Get some fur along the base of these little spiky doos. That's the technical term for them. I am a professional dire creature researcher here. Little swirly nose. Okay. And eye ridge. And zoom in a little bit. And eye. And eye. Yeah. It's probably the smoothest that I have drawn a singular eye in a long while. That's the power of a good tablet, boys and girls and non-binary folks. Whoop. Guys, gals, and non-binary pals, as Thomas Sanders would say. Spike. I was rewatching Megamind the other day, and probably one of my favorite bits is where Roxanne rounds the corner and she's like, "What have you done to Bernard?" And Megamind is like, "Oh, I'm doing terrible things to that man. You know, the usual lasers, spikes." And then he just opens up a door and he does that little trick where he like sticks his face in the door and he's like, "Oh, please, no, not the lasers and the spikes." You know the drill. "Oh, no, not the drill." Probably my favorite bit out of that movie. I mean, it's a good movie. It's really freaking good. They really should have done a different marketing campaign for that movie, though, because like the way that they advertised it was not how the movie panned out. This reminds me of Demon Slayer. Cool. I like that little callback there. Thank you. I have yet to actually like read or watch Demon Slayer, but it looks interesting. Anyway, so let's see. Spike. Another spike along the little spine ridge there. Squish, 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 squish. Nope, don't like that line. Don't like that one either. Hold on. That's a bit better, kind of. That'll work, at least for now. I may change it whenever I get done inking a little bit more. Just realized how thin my line looks, so I'm just gonna bolden up the line just a wee bit more. For For any folks who are just tuning into the live stream now, the program that I am using to draw is Clip Studio Paint Pro. There's 2 different versions of Clip Studio Paint. There's Pro and EX, and I use Pro because I live on a budget. So there's one shoulder. Oh, Scarlett has just entered the chat. Hi, Chatty Cat. We are going to pause for just a moment while I pet this cat that's off screen.
Do you want it up in my lap?
Scarlett's not usually the lap cat. It's usually Bree who does that. But sometimes I can convince Scarlett to come up into my lap.
Oh, she's sniffing. Oh, she's sniffing. Are you done sniffing? Hey. Uh-huh.
Alrighty. She's just going to be a distraction. She's not interested in jumping up in my lap, probably. Which is fine. A little thumb nubbing. There we go. Right. There we go. And that's done. Boop, there we go. So there's one monstrous squirrel paw. Things I never thought I would say. Oop. You know, I'm thinking about this now. When I did conventions before the current state that everything is in right now, as of this stream anyway, when I did comic conventions, I would sometimes get young people coming up to me and asking like how to get into comics, how to make money as a professional artist and that kind of thing. And something that I realized I should really start saying to people, outside of the generic advice of like, just keep drawing things, build your portfolio, try this thing to, and blah, 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 blah. Something that I really need to start saying to people more is be ready to draw things you didn't think possible. Because it is rare, if not non-existent, that artists are only known for drawing one thing. At least commercial artists. If you're like a fine artist and a painter, you can get away with making a painting series of nothing but landscapes, which is fine and all, but if you're going to be like in comics or a character designer or in animation even, or any other kind of like commercial art profession, you need to get comfortable drawing pretty much anything. Squirrels, horses, cars, boats, people of varying shapes and sizes and ethnicities, like every freaking thing. Like if it can be drawn, you need to get at least passable at it. There you go. Professional art advice. Do you like purple? It is one of my favorite colors, next to olive green. Jessica, you joined us in the chat. Huzzah! I was wondering. I was playing Animal Crossing and didn't notice it was so late. That's okay. You're fine. Remember when you were underrated? Wait, you still are. Oh my gosh, you are too sweet to me. Oh my gosh. I can't handle your sweetness. I want to change the announcement. There we go. Okay, there. If this stream gets 20 likes, I'll give a free signed copy. Who knows, Solar Flare? Maybe you could be the winner. Who knows? If you liked the video, like the video. If you have not liked the video, like it so that you can enter the giveaway. And be sure to share this stream, because if you share this stream, that will get the stream in front of more eyeballs, and then they can enter the contest too. So there we go. All right, back to the dire squirrel. Yeah, Jessica, since you're just now tuning in, I am drawing a dire squirrel. Let me zoom out so you can see the progress I've made on it so far. Oh, dire giant squirrel. Yeah. Which I just realized is about on par with the size of a frost giant. So that's, if you weren't terrified enough of this thing, there you go. There's another reason to be terrified of it. You're welcome. Oh. Oh, dang it. There we go. But yeah, if you're going to get into like being a professional artist, especially on a commercial level, get really comfortable drawing anything and everything. I never thought that I would draw horses, but one of the first things that I learned how to draw as a commercial artist when I was doing caricatures was how to draw horses. Because as it turns out, whenever you're working as a caricature artist at an amusement park, you will get a lot of children who will want to be drawn riding a horse. So I had to get good at drawing horses really fast as a result. I also got really fast at drawing passable cars. Cars were one of those things that like I really needed to practice more of. I still need to practice cars more often. I've gotten better in the last few years. Drawing slice of life comics will help with that too. That will help you get really good at drawing cars. There are some people who think, oh no, I can't draw this thing, so I'll just write around it so that I don't have to draw this thing. And no, that is not why you get into art. You get into art to challenge yourself, to get better at what you do. You don't get into art to be like, oh no, I'm just going to draw this thing that I'm really good at, because that's really, really boring. No, if you're going to be a professional artist, you need to challenge yourself. Kill CD is the man behind the slaughter, confirmed. I mean, I didn't say anything. There are just some times where I will say something, especially with family members, and it makes me sound like a murderer. And I have to be like, I promise I am not this person. Like, I made a joke last week about like going to a car dealership and looking at the trunks of vehicles and being like, you could fit a lot of bodies in this thing. And that's a gauge of how good of a car it is. But there's also the joke of way back when Mom was looking at houses in this area, and she went to like a neighboring town, which is about 20 miles away. I live in the middle of nowhere, Ohio right now. But she was looking at houses in a town about 20 miles from here. And we all toured it. And this house looked like something from The Shining. And we walked around and then we went into the basement, and the basement looked like something from the 1860s because it was made out of like cobblestone and old cement. Probably could have been made from ritualistic human blood or something. And then in the middle of this like old-fashioned brick wall, there's suddenly like a whole bunch of insulator foam and a wood panel about the size of a coffin up against it. And we were like, there is somebody buried on the other side of that wall. We are not buying this house. And lo and behold, we did not buy that house. Because we were just like, there is somebody buried on the other side of that wall, and they are going to haunt our dreams, and we are not going to have that happen in our new house. There's been some wacky stuff, man. Do you know B-Stars? I have not watched it yet, but I know what it is. I also did see that there's a YouTuber called Triple Q. They do mashup videos, and they did a mashup video of the B-Stars theme, Gold Digger by Caravan Palace, one of my favorite bands right now, a song from Steven Universe, and one of the boss fights from Cuphead. Combine those 4 songs into one electro swing track, and that is a cool song. Like, check out the YouTuber Triple Q. They're awesome. Plot twist. It was an animal in the wall. That just makes it worse. Now, I could talk about animal stuff because my grandmother, Grammy, right now she's the only living grandparent that I have, but Grammy has a cow farm out in the middle of the woods. And she makes it a point not to name her cows because most of them get butchered. The only exceptions that she makes are if she has a particular favorite cow and she decides she does not want to butcher it and instead just have that particular cow breed, or if the cow is so exceptionally dumb that they've determined that they're going to butcher this particular cow and they have to nickname it something. That's how I found out, because on Mother's Day, I went down to visit my Grammy, and while I was down there, she gave me a whole bunch of beef, like 4 pounds of ground beef, a sirloin steak, and another steak, and a couple other things. And her cowhand, Ernie, was talking about, so which cow is this one? And Grammy was like, oh, this one is stupid. Because she had nicknamed one of the cows Stupid. So I have some cow in my freezer from Stupid. So on occasion, I will be eating Stupid. Sorry to any vegetarians and vegans in the audience. I know that that's a really big point, and it's something that could be like, I know that this is said facetiously sometimes, but it can be triggering to hear this kind of a thing. So I'm sorry that I did not preface this. I'll admit I sometimes have a hard time understanding a vegan mindset, but more because of something that happened when I was on the Navajo reservation. Because way back in 2011, I was actually part of a school trip with my college. We went to Navajo Nation, which is the Navajo reservation out in New Mexico and Arizona. And they explicitly told us that at one point during the trip, we were going to watch the Navajo ceremony of basically gutting a sheep. And we had one vegetarian and one vegan who was part of the school trip, and they were like openly weeping the entire time that they were watching this sheep get slaughtered. So, like, on the one hand, like, I get it. On the other hand, it's like, dude, just walk the frick away. You know? You are allowed to walk away. It's fine. One of my kitties long ago found a ghost she really liked that followed us around as we moved until she passed away. She would sit and have conversations with the ghost. Dude, my cat Scarlet, when we adopted her, we lived in this house that was for sure haunted because, like, anytime that Scarlet went into the kitchen, she would sit in the corner facing it and she would just meow. And she would not stop meowing at this corner of the wall until we went in there and then we picked her up and moved her away. Or we called for her. Like, Scarlet is the one that can see ghosts, like, for sure. And that's apparently, like, one of the tells that you have a ghost in your house is when a cat just goes to a corner of a room and then just stares at the corner and meows at it. So, hot tip for anybody who has a cat and they've wondered, why is my cat doing this? Your house is haunted. That is why the cat is doing that. I'm going to rotate the canvas. There we go. But yeah, I actually did watch the ceremony that the Navajo people did where they disemboweled a sheep. It stank. Like, it stank a lot. And afterwards, every part of the sheep was eaten. So I got to try sheep's tongue and sheep cheek and, like, I think one other part of the sheep head. I did not get eyeballs or brain because eyeballs and brains are reserved for the elders. So, fun fact. But yeah, I tried sheep's tongue. Not my favorite thing. It was very, very chewy because tongues are entirely muscle and muscles are tough. As it turns out. I think that's the dire squirrel right there. I'm going to turn off the pencil layer and see how it looks. Not bad. I'm going to have some spikes popping out of the chest, though. Could look a little more dire. There we go. Yeah. There we go. Dire squirrel. All right. What's the next monster that I should draw? I feel like this giant squirrel is genuinely as cute as a goblin girl, like, not in Critical Role. I can see that, actually. I can see that. Because, I mean, it's a squirrel, so squirrels are, by nature, cute, but it's covered in spikes, like goblins. Goblins are very spiky. So I can see that. Hello from the devs team at NeverEnding. Yes, I've seen you in the chanty a couple of times. So good to see you. Missed you in the meeting this morning. But that's okay. I understand. Time zones are wacky. But glad to see that you could make it. I'm happy to have you here. We're doing a giveaway, by the way. If this stream gets 20 likes while we are live, I will give away a free signed copy of Dragons, a sketchbook, to one viewer. Dragons, a sketchbook was something that I did last year as part of the Inktober challenge. Inktober is where you do a new ink drawing every day during the month of October. Usually, there's a theme around it. And the theme is usually, I should say there's usually a prompt list that's put together by Jake Parker and a few other people on Twitter. And there's a lot of thought that goes into the prompt list. Anytime that I do Inktober, I ignore this prompt list because I just pick a theme that I want to draw from and go with it. So last year, I picked dragons as my theme for Inktober, and then I drew ink drawings of nothing but dragons every day for October, and then I put them into a sketchbook. That's what Dragons, a sketchbook is. And if this video gets 20 likes, I will give away a free signed copy of that book to one lucky viewer. By the way, I have a mug full of popcorn, in case you're wondering where the popcorn's coming from. Anyway, what should I draw next? Let me know in the chat. I'm going to pause and have some tea. I've been doing a lot of talking, excuse me. Whew. Hey, Solar Flare, please do me a favor and keep me posted on how many likes the video gets. Last year's Inktober sketchbook was amazing. Thank you, Jessica. Yeah, Jessica was one of the backers and also a patron on Patreon who helped bring the book to life. We had that request for a Darrow. Hold on, I got to do an image search because I don't know what a Darrow looks like. From Forgotten Realms. Ooh! Okay. Looking at some of the, like... Yeah, I could do a Darrow. Taking a look at some of the pictures here. Yeah. Yeah, I can do a Darrow. Darrow were widespread and were likely to be found in small bands throughout the Underdark. Darrow warrens existed in many Drow and Duragar cities, but they were almost always treated as a disrespected underclass. Oh. Darrow appeared to resemble small dwarves. They had blue-gray skin, and their hair was often white or yellow in color. They lacked both irises and pupils, showing uniformly pale eyes. Most Darrow looked haggard and wore shabby clothing, appearing pitiable to unsuspecting victims. Ugh. Okay, I'm getting some ideas from this one. So thank you, Jamie, for the shout out on that Twitter vote. I'll go ahead and start working on a Darrow then. So let's see. We're going to X that one and get another monster sheet going. Oh, where's the... Here it is. Got the kobolds, and I got a singing tree. And I think I'll delete some of these other layers. And change the scale, because Darrows are small. If they're dwarf size, they're going to be small. So we're going to do this. Monster sheet Darrow. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I just realized, like, it's spelled D-E-E-R-O, and I would think it's pronounced Darrow, but it could be something else entirely. Anyway. Darrow pencils. I'm going to change the opacity of the human. I'm going to make it 25%. There we go. Very thin, gaunt face here. That might be about halfling size. Hold on. I'm gonna... There we go. Adjust the scale here. Bigger. Bigger. There we go. Okay. Enzo. Just get the under sketch here. Get the knee, get the thigh. There we go. You know what? I'm gonna redraw this leg here. Not attached to it by any means. So that's the other thing. If you're gonna be a commercial artist, like, be prepared to murder your darlings, or even to murder your not darlings. Like, be prepared to, like, completely draw over things and, like, start things over from scratch. Be prepared for that inevitability, because it will happen. course, if you're going to be going into caricatures, you need to get it right the first time, because redraws are costly when it comes to the caricature world. So, but that's kind of the fun part about caricatures. That's the fun challenge about them, is you got to get it right the first time. There is no do-over with those. So there's a lot of pressure to get it right, but challenge accepted. They're like a dark dwarf, but thinner and crazier hair. Yeah, that was one of the reference pictures that I saw when I went to Google. So I think that's how it's pronounced. Okay, I will go with that then. It's Darrow. D-E-R-R-O, Darrow. Alrighty. We're going to have this one kind of raise one hand and do like this weird, like little pointy thing, like he's getting ready to like say a hex or something. Drawing the circles just for the finger joint placements so that I know where the fingers are. There we go.
And this one's gonna hold a staff.
Stick. Stick. This is the pencil layer. It doesn't have to be perfect, so I can do it however I want. We're going to have a skull hanging off of this here loop. The skull of something. Almost like a shrunken head. So I think it'd be cool if this Darrow had a skull hanging off of his staff. Monsters. Monsters everywhere. That's the theme of today. Why is my phone vibrating? Am I getting a whole bunch of text messages? Or no, it's just notifications. Never mind. That can wait. Actually, let me put this on Do Not Disturb. There we go. Heck yeah. Alrighty. Now we're going to get the robes. Because the whole point with these creatures, at least from the description that I saw in the Forgotten Realms wiki, is that they have this like really shaggy appearance to make it look like they're like homeless and destitute and they desperately need your help and like, oh, won't you please? And as it turns out, that's a ruse. It's a ruse the entire time. I was also introduced to a new idea about dwarves. Thanks to the most recent video from Overly Sarcastic Productions, they did a video about Loki's wager in Norse mythology. And as it turns out, in Norse mythology, dwarves actually weren't short. at least in the original Norse mythos, I think it was actually Tolkien who came up with the idea that dwarves were short. In modern fantasy, anyway. But in Norse mythology, dwarves were actually considered a race that was almost like a cousin to the elf. So they were almost elf-like, but they were well known for working in forges, which was how they got their claim to fame. A lot of the Norse mythos, if they ever mention dwarves, will often talk about dwarf blacksmiths. Watch Overly Sarcastic Productions video about Loki's Wager, and to get an idea of like what kinds of things the dwarves would forge, at least in Norse mythology. I'm just going to get the general idea of the robes, and I will draw the actual like tattered edges either in a separate pencil layer or with the inks. This thing that he's wearing is going to be, at least this top layer here is going to be kind of like a poncho almost. Almost like a poncho, but not entirely, because ponchos are a different kind of a design. It's more like a overly long shawl that I'm drawing on this dude. There we go, drew the edges, and again, just drawing the edge pieces. I'll actually like make these edges a little tattered in another layer. I'm going to throw this out there. If I can get this Darrow done, I kind of want to draw a mermaid next, if only because I have a soft spot for mermaids. And also, it's May. And on Instagram, there's actually a drawing challenge called Mermay, which is a thing. Check the Mermay tag on Instagram so you can get a good idea of what they look like. But also, I've been going through a lot of my old sketchbooks because I'm packing up and getting ready to move. And I've been going through some old sketchbooks, and I keep coming across sketches for this comic idea that I've off and on worked on for the last couple of years called Julia. Julia is my retelling of The Little Mermaid, but in this particular retelling, Julia, the Little Mermaid in question, does not walk. She has legs, but she doesn't know how to use them, so she cannot walk. So she's wheelchair bound, at least in my iteration of the story. And then there's going to be a couple other things too. Like there's definitely dwarves in that story, and there's also giants and a few other things. But yes, mermaids. I have a soft spot for mermaids. Wild hair. Borderline Shikasta, but not quite Shikasta, because at least Shikasta's white afro is like intentionally this way. I get the impression that Darrow hair is like, how can we make this look as scraggly as possible? And they almost like take it upon themselves to try to look as scraggly as possible. So they would probably look at Shikasta's hair and be like, that's too groomed. Needs to be more disastrous. Or whatever the Underdark equivalent is. I'm pretty sure that they only speak Underdark. Or Undercommon. As someone who has used a wheelchair on occasion, I like that idea. Right? Definitely want to make that happen. Mermaid! It's on Twitter too. Awesome. You should see the thumbs up on your phone if you close chat. Ha, good to know. Good afternoon. Hi, Brett. Good to see you. I'm watching on my phone. I don't see how I can like the stream. Oh, so that's what Jessica's comment was for. So, Tom, I'll highlight Jessica's comment again. You should see the thumbs up on your phone if you close the chat. There you go. I hope that helps. Let's see. Either dwarf blacksmiths or dwarf tricks. I'm pretty sure my cat was sneaky peeking the stream behind me. He just started meowing at my bathtub nonstop. Oh, oh, honey. Oh, bless cats. Mermaid is on Twitter too. Okay, cool. So there's a mermaid hashtag on Twitter. So if you're on Twitter, go check that out. Okay. I'll go ahead and leave this little note up on the screen here. If this stream gets 20 likes, I will give a free signed copy of Dragon's A Sketchbook to one lucky viewer. Here shortly, I can even do like a little preview of some of the sketches in Dragon's A Sketchbook, so you have an idea of what the rest of the book is like. Anyway, back to the Darrow. Kind of a grumpy face. All right. We're going to put this opacity at 50%. We're going to name this layer Darrow Inks. Save the progress we've made so far. P for pen. And there we go. Okay. I'm going to start by inking this staff here because the staff comes in front of the hair for layering purposes to 3Dify this image. I just had this thought while I was drawing the inks for this staff. I was like, there's not really any trees in the Underdark. What would he use as a staff? A spinal column of some kind of Underdark creature. So that's what I'm doing. And I think that would fit the Darrow nature because, at least according to the Forgotten Realms wiki, they are a sadistic race. So I think a spinal column would actually fit their aesthetic quite nicely. Spurt, how long have you been in the Underdark here?
11 days!
Oh, that's not very long. How long do kobolds live?
11 days!
In your 11 days down here, what is the worst thing that you have seen?
My brother got eaten by a green slime!
Oh, no, that's so sad. You mean like the green slime in that pot that you have there?
Yeah, that's the one!
Okay. Spurt, one of my favorite guest characters on Critical Role. And he wasn't even originally supposed to be a guest character. It was just kind of a, oh, Chris Perkins is visiting just for today. Oh, by the way, I'll just have you roleplay this kobold in this scenario. And Chris Perkins was just like, okay. We're going to fill the eye sockets with black here, and there we go. Kind of a flat-looking skull, but I can fix that later if I want to. There we go. Get that hand as bony as I can. Boom. So that would be a spinal staff. You could say that it's part of his backstory. That's okay, Tom. I've had that happen before too. When the chat's open and didn't think to close it. Like, I don't usually watch live streams on my phone, but there was one time that I did, and I was like, "Oh God, how do I close the chat?" And I had to poke around a little bit. Might I suggest a wayward adventurer that done goofed? I mean, that's how any skull appears in an adventure that you come across. Does the spinal staff raise you to level 11? I would almost say that's like a level 13 bump there. Goodness. I mean, you got to be a pretty high level in order to handle the spinal staff. There we go. Continue the lines of the spinal staff. And hey, I don't have to draw the lines perfectly straight. It actually works pretty well, actually. Draw the pelvic bone of this here creature. Or at least the broken off bit of a spinal cord and the pelvic bone at the base of it. So I think that would be cool. That was drawn off the top of my head. I was trying to draw from my visual memory bank because one of the final images that I did back when I was in college, I was actually asked for my drawing 101 class to draw a pelvis. And I was like, okay, I'll draw a pelvis, sure. And as it turns out, pelvic bones are, they are definitely a drawing skill challenge, because when you look at them from the front view, it flattens them. They are definitely a 3D bone structure, because there's like a bone that curves out this way, or that curves out this way to get you a better idea of how it curves. And there's other bones that like point out in other directions, and it's like it's definitely one of the weirdest bones in the body. That and I am continuously weirded out by the fact that your forearm here is just two bones that rotate around each other. And anytime that I think about that, I just like, oh. So I try not to think about that too much. But sometimes my anxiety brain will be like minding its own. I'll be minding my own business late at night, and then all of a sudden my anxiety brain will be like, your forearm is two bones that rotate around each other. Isn't that gross? And I'm like, stop it, brain. I don't want to think about this. Anxiety brain likes to try to entertain itself whenever I'm not doing anything. Like, okay, I know that there are some people out there right now who are talking about how to handle what's going on at the moment. And a lot of people are like, it's okay to just be bored. And I'm like, I have anxiety brain. It is not okay for my anxiety brain to be bored. It will come up with scenarios, and I don't need that. There we go. That works. For a Darrow face there. Boop. I'm going to turn off the pencil layer for a minute so that I can ink this in with black. There we go. Now you can more obviously see the gaunt cheekbones there on this particular Darrow. Boop. Oh, in case you're wondering why I'm poking at my screen on occasion, it's because I have a touch screen and I can move the canvas around just by poking it. Technology. Pelvic bones don't care about our opinions on them and will break if you do a stupid. I may have done a stupid. It's okay. I've done a stupid too. The particular part of the pelvis that broke for me was actually the tailbone, which is technically part of the pelvis. It's the part where the base of the spine and the pelvis meet, and I broke that bone, like, for sure. I tell people, if you're okay being bored, that's okay. You don't have to be busy because others are. I totally get that. Like, on one level, I totally get people saying that it's okay to be bored, because we do live in a culture that really praises productivity and trying to be as productive as possible every waking minute of every day. So on that level, yes, it does make sense to be like, you know what? Frick being productive, I'm just going to relax and I'm going to be bored. And that's good. But when it comes to, at least for me, when it comes to sitting there and being bored, I really have to be careful, because my anxiety brain likes to be dumb and try to come up with doomsday scenarios, because my anxiety is not social anxiety. I am not afraid to, like, talk in public or make a doof of myself or anything like that. And, like, I love live streams. That is not where my anxiety comes from. My anxiety comes from doing what ifs and then rolling with them because it doesn't know how to stop. So, and those often happen whenever I get bored. So I often have to just keep my hands busy. So at least I have hobbies that help with that. Crochet is one of those hobbies that I do whenever I want to just be by myself and kind of bored. But I don't want to engage in the what if scenario building that my stupid anxiety brain does. So when that happens, I will just sit and I will crochet, and that helps. So crochet is what does it for me. Depending, sometimes drawing will do that too. If I just have my sketchbook and I'm just drawing whatever the frick that I want. I don't often draw in my sketchbook very much, at least at the moment. But mostly because there's just a lot going on and I don't make the time to sit down and draw in my sketchbook. Drawing in a sketchbook is one of those things that you need to make the time for. It's not one of those things that's like, oh, I should do that. Like, if you keep telling yourself that you should do a thing, it's probably not going to get done. So just, if you want to do something, make the time for it. And it's okay if you don't want to make the time for it. Like, there are just some things where you can accept, hey, I don't want to make the time to do this, and that's fine. Because I've done that before too. Yeah, just to reiterate, for people who are joining the live stream for the first time, if this live stream gets to 20 likes, I will give a free signed copy of Dragons: A Sketchbook to one lucky viewer. Dragons' Sketchbook is a sketchbook full of ink drawings that I did for Inktober last year. And for Inktober last year, my theme was drawing dragons every day. All ink drawings of dragons for the month of October. So I'm one of those kinds of people. I'm going to draw a hole. A couple holes. Or maybe 3. There we go. Let me turn off the pencil layer, see how this is turning out. Yeah! Yeah, my kind of shabby. I love it. Got a mug full of popcorn on the side here. I'll go ahead and throw this announcement out there too. Oh, actually, before I get to announcements, new comments. This next bit is a big graphic. My muscles in my hip pulled on my tendons, and my tendons pulled on my ligaments, and pop came out a piece of my upper part of the pelvis. Ow! Yeah, agree with Jessica. That does not sound like a good time. Woof. I'm sorry that happened to you, Brett. Oh. I hope you're taking it easy, and I hope you're at least taking the time to give your pelvis a break, because that does not sound like a fun time at all. Woof. Oh, found out actually from Johnny Wander of all comics. If you want to make a super quick, cheap, and easy heating or cooling pad, just take like a bandana, fold it in half, sew it up like you're going to make it into like a little teeny tiny pillow, fill it with rice. Close that sucker up so that you have like a little rice pillow. And then you can either microwave it or put it in the freezer. And then you put it on whatever part of your body hurts. And there you go. Instant heating and or cooling pad. Found that out from Johnny Wander, this comic that I really, really like. So I hope that helps you. But anyway, back to the announcement that I was going to make. So anyway, I made the announcement if the stream gets 20 likes during the stream, I will give away a free copy of a book. I'll throw this out there too. If this stream gets 40 likes live or in the replay, then NeverEnding will give a free health potion to one lucky viewer. And those 40 likes can be during the stream or when this gets posted later as a replay for this giveaway. If you want to get a free signed copy of Dragons' Sketchbook, this video got to reach 20 likes during the stream, not in the replay. It was a while ago, but happened on my birthday, so that was a fun present. Oh, okay. Speaking of birthday injuries, I feel you there, because on my 13th birthday, I had my first injury, and my first injury was my knee popped out of place. And of all places that it happened, I was on a mini golf course, and I was just stepping down from like a little brick thing that was all of this tall, and my knee decided that was just too much, and it just popped. It moved. It was here, and then it went, and then it moved back. And I was like, how? And apparently, this is a maneuver that baffles some nurses, because like, that is not the first time that my knee has popped out of place, and that is not the only knee that has popped out of place. My left knee has also done that little poppy shift where it's like on, it's where it's supposed to be, and then all of a sudden it decides that it just wants to pop to the side of my leg and then pop back into place. And it's like, why? Why does it do that? I don't know. But I remember describing this injury to a nurse, and the nurse was like, I have never heard of this. And I was like, well, it's happened to me like twice, if not 3 times. Like, I don't know whether to congratulate you for baffling nurses or offer condolences condolences. Both is fine. But like, yeah, my knees are stupid. I have really stupid knees. And this is apparently something that is prevalent in the family. My grandfather had this issue. My mom has this issue, and it just got passed on to me. So my knees are dumb. That's just what happens. Anyway, that should be the last of the graphic, like, injuries relations. Like, I feel like I already talked about how it was that I broke my tailbone in another live stream, which you can watch a replay of on my YouTube channel. So there you go. I try to keep the live streams to like round about 2 hours because I don't want to take up people's day completely. I just like to offer a little break. And I like to offer people a peek at how I draw stuff. I'm just happy that I can even do this in lieu of going to conventions. I'm definitely looking into doing live streams more instead of going to conventions because, I mean, I had been thinking about transitioning away from doing so many conventions. I think my personal record is attending 14 Comic Cons in 1 year as a vendor, and that's exhausting after a while. So I've been thinking about ways to like lighten that load, to not do as many comic conventions and to like find other ways to reach out to people, get comics out there and let people know that, hey, I exist. And live streams seem to be a really good way to do that. And with everything happening right now, with what's going on in the world, that just, you know, gave me a bigger kick in the pants to put that in place sooner rather than later. Meant condolences. It's fine. I know what you meant. Save the progress that I've made so far. Have a sip of tea. More like a gulp. Oof, that was good. Okay. Back to the Darrow. The little patch here. Because why not? Like, they're Darrow. They're supposed to look positively shabby. It's how they lure you into their traps. By the way, Robert, if you're still in the chat, big shout out to you for the giant squirrel vote that you put out earlier today. By the way, again, Rob, if you're still in the chat, have you checked out Caravan Palace yet? Because I gave them a shout out in the last live stream. Which, by the way, if you have not heard Caravan Palace yet, you really should. They're a fun band. They just recently released a track called Moonshine, and it's probably my new favorite jam right now. Especially the remix versions. There's a lot of good remix versions out there. And Caravan Palace is one of those rare bands that actually like finds those remix versions that other people make and then posts them on their channel and is like, hey, check out this remix version that this person put together. It's pretty awesome. And it's like, you're awesome for giving them a shout out, Holy Banana Pants. They're one of the few bands that do that, as far as I know. Also, like almost all of their music videos are animated. I'm pretty sure all of their music videos are animated now that I think about it. And they get different animation teams to work on their animated music videos, which is just awesome. Destiny came knocking with a portable RAM, I guess, for the live streams. I'm glad that Destiny has brought you here, my dude. Foot. And got to draw the heel. There we go. Wish I could give really good pro tips on how to draw feet, but like feet are one of those things that you just got to practice it. Like draw from life as much as you can. Try not to use photo reference too much. Like draw your own feet. Do not let the challenge defeat you. I would show myself out, but we have like half an hour left to this stream. Here we go. What else was wrapped? Okay. I feel like one foot is definitely larger than the other. Let me see. Okay. I know which foot I need to fix. Again, be prepared to murder your darlings. All right, the length of this foot needs to get fixed. There's the 4 little toes, and then I'm going to try that big toe again. There we go. How's that looking now? Better, but still not big enough. But I could probably fix this, and that'll help. Turn the pencil layer off. There we go. They're closer, at least, in size. This could still stand to get fixed, though. All right, I'm going to turn the pencil layer off for this one, and I'm just going to eyeball it. Really not sure that I like that. And it's definitely still not proportional to the other foot. Jesus. Come watch this riveting display of this professional artist struggling to draw the right foot. All right, let me get into the pencil layer because I think I can fix this in the pencil layer as the guideline. I just gotta doodle first. Much better. Okay. There we go. Now we have the proper placement of the feet and the toes and the arches. Here we go. That works. Welcome to this Monster Madness live draw, where everything's made up and the pelvises don't matter. That's like the pelvises are just like Blair Witch 2. Just doesn't matter. And there we go. I can turn the pencil layer off, and heck yeah, look at that frickin' Darrow. Scrubby as heck. Did I draw ears on this guy? In the pencil layer I did. I never inked those in. Hold on. Okay. And that's done. Hickey. Do that. There. Oh, I need to finish the spinal staff. And then my mind cut to, this is Spinal Tap. Which, if you have never read, I'll build the bridge here. If you have never read the original Phantom of the Opera, try giving it a read sometime. It's very pulpy, but it's very good. But here's the bridge. Because This is Spinal Tap is a fictional account of a touring band. And the original novel of Phantom of the Opera is actually a fictional retelling of something that actually happened a couple of years before the Phantom of the Opera book. There was a freak accident at the French Opera Hall where a counterweight to the chandelier fell through the ceiling and killed a concierge on her first day of work. And Gaston Leroux, the writer of Phantom of the Opera, read about this incident in the newspaper and was like, was this an accident or was it murder? And then he did a whole bunch of research and he made it into this episodic, the Phantom of the Opera was actually published in episodes. Each chapter was a individual article that was published in a newspaper at the time. And then it was compiled into a book later. Fun fact. But yeah, the Phantom of the Opera, the novel, is a fictional retelling of an actual historical thing that happened. And it goes absolutely bonkers. In a boot? I could have drawn the foot in a boot. Of course I see this now. Gosh dang it. Feet and hands are annoying. It's fine. Clubfoot? I could have done a clubfoot too. Gosh, now I see all these options. I should have checked the chat sooner. Oh my gosh. I'm back in doing the paper of my friend's OC, and I draw 3 protogens. They look better than I expected. Also, repetition helps you get better at drawing things. Looks godly. Yes! Goal achieved! That's the other thing about making art. This is something that I learned from my days doing caricatures at Cedar Point, is the instructors were very explicit about, look, you're going to be really bad at drawing caricatures when you first start. The thing that you got to do is you just got to keep drawing and you got to keep repeating stuff. Because the more times that you do a thing, the better you get at doing the thing. Whenever it comes to art, repetition gets you that much closer to mastery. And as it turns out, there's something to be said about the 10,000 rule. The 10,000 rule, Google it if you don't know what it is by now. But when it comes to drawing things, sometimes if you draw a thing 10,000 times, you actually get pretty good at it. Just ask Hank Green of the Vlog Brothers. He drew 10,000 hanklerfish, and he got really good at it. I'll go ahead and draw a hanklerfish in case you have no idea what I'm talking about. Like, a hanklerfish is basically like a swoop, and then a swoop, boop, boop, and then there's the jaw, there's the eye, teeth, la da da da, and then there's the little side fin, and then little angler dingy doo, and there we go. It's actually an anglerfish. It's just hanklerfish are anglerfish drawn by Hank. So there we go. Super easy anglerfish. Okay. So what is the next thing that I should draw? We have like 25 minutes left. So what should I draw next? Should I draw a mermaid? Should I draw something else? Should I draw another Underdark creature? Does Twitter have any opinions? Let me know in the chat. Like, what would you like to see me draw? While y'all are thinking about it, I'll be right back. I gotta get a drink. This chair is too big. Okay, the kettle's not hot anymore, so no tea. But I got water. The true adult beverage. Okay. A protogen, just for the heck of it. Mermaids start like props and such. Mermaid is always good. Okay, 2 votes mermaid, 1 vote protogen. Sorry, Solar Flare. I might do a protogen later, depending on how quickly I can get this mermaid done. But more votes were for mermaids, so I will do a quick mermaid. Boop. And just gonna X out of that. I'm gonna get another monster sheet going. Ooh, I'll load this one because I did a baby kraken, aka a squid. But I can go ahead and delete that, and I'm gonna shrink the canvas down. Mermaids aren't that big. Boom. And there we go. Gonna make this human 25% opacity. The human without the hands, I really need to fix that source. Anyway. New layer. Mermaid pencils. Here we go. Making this particular mermaid gaunt. The next mermaid that I draw will probably be more on the plump side, but this one I'm imagining kind of gaunt because I'm basing this one more on the eel, and eels are very slick. Spine ridges for eyebrows. I'll move this down a little bit. Oop. That way I can get to here. This is going to be tricky to ink in, but challenge accepted. If you have any questions for me about making art or just questions about life, the universe, or anything, feel free to ask them in the chat. I will answer them to the best of my ability. This is also a good time to ask me like little fun trivia questions like who's my favorite Disney princess, or I don't know, anything in like a truth or dare game. I reserve the right to not do particular dares though. Which, if you want to get a good idea of dares for truth or dare scenarios, get the game Quelf. It's a board game. It's by the same people who made Cranium, and it has very Cranium-like rules, but oh my gosh, it's so much fun. I was first introduced to Quelf by some theater friends when I was in college, and it is so ridiculous. It is a game entirely about randomness. Like, one of the rules, because there's a pile of cards that you draw. Whenever you land on a blue space, that's a rules card, and you have to draw a new rule from the rules pile. There's one rule saying that you have to end every sentence with Izzle. Good luck, Izzle. There's another rule that says anytime that somebody has to make steps back on the board, you have to make the sound of a flushing toilet. There's another rules that says you have to talk like a pirate for the entire game unless you draw another rule that overrules it. And that's just the rules card. That's not even getting into like the showbiz cards or the quizzles or anything else. There's like 5 other categories besides rules in Quelf, and it's absolutely ridiculous. Among other things, Quelf may ask you to write an ode to a whale. In another instance, you could be asked to wrap your head in toilet paper and have that toilet paper wrap around your head for the entire rest of the game. So it's fun. It's a lot of fun stuff. I want to redraw this arm. Holy heck. I'm going to redraw the hand too, actually. This is going to be a long-limbed beastie here that I'm drawing. Again, going to base this one on an eel. Get stripes on this lady. Pause for a moment. 13 likes. We're getting there. Thank you, Solar Flare. Drawing hands mittens work well. Undersea mittens. You can tell I'm not an artist. It's okay. 19 likes. Woo! This is exciting. If we get one more, I will give away a free copy of Dragons, a sketchbook, to one viewer. If we get one more, I will give away a free copy of this book. The winner, if we make it to 20 likes, I will announce the winner randomly at the end of the stream. So hopefully we'll get there. Keep me posted, chat. This is exciting. I'll polish that up in the inking layer, but that's a decent enough hand for the pencils. I'll fix it in inks. Yeah, that'll work. New layer, mermaid inks. I'm going to set this at 50% opacity. Did it fix? Yeah, cool. It worked. Yeah. P for pen. Hold on, gotta get a drink of water. It's the only tricky bit about eating popcorn on a live stream is that sometimes the kernels will just be like, I'm gonna get stuck in the back of your throat because that's what I do. I'm popcorn. And it's like, could you not? You'll have to stop me. Oh, my bad. I meant 20. We did it. We did it. Woo! 20 likes. Holy banana pants. So that means I will give away a free signed copy of Dragons, a sketchbook, to one viewer who is watching the live stream right now. Oh my gosh, this is exciting. This is exciting. Hold on. I'm going to go get this book. That way you can see like what the book is and you'll know what it is that you may have won. Woohoo! Yes, I agree, Jessica. This is exciting. This is like the first proper giveaway that I have done. Anyway, so copy of Dragons' sketchbook. Give me just a sec while I get it. Oh my gosh, this is so exciting. What? Woof. Okay. Oh, cool. Top of the book pile in this box. Woohoo. Okay. Now that we have reached 20 likes, one lucky viewer is going to get a signed copy of this Dragons, a sketchbook. I don't know how this is looking right now in the camera because from my view, this looks mirrored. So Dragons looks backwards, but you're getting a free signed copy of this. I'll go ahead and flip through here and pick one of my favorite dragons. That's a fun one. But where is... I actually have a dragon that I call Miss Scarlet. There she is. This here is Miss Scarlet. She's one of my favorite dragons that I drew in this sketchbook. So this and other exciting dragon sketches are in this Dragons a Sketchbook, and one of you lucky viewers are going to get a free signed copy of this. So, okay. Heck yeah, I agree with you there, Carlos. Heck yes. Okay. Now it is just a matter of actually picking a winner. Because like, wow, this is exciting. I'm so glad that the stream got 20 likes. I did not think this far ahead. I did not think this far ahead in terms of like, how am I actually going to pick a winner? One sec. Okay. Oh, new subscriber. Thank you, Kyle, for joining us. Let's see. Oh, who did the 20th like? That's actually a good question. I'm not sure that YouTube can actually like show me that in the system, but I don't know who did the 20th like. You know what? I may have to announce the winner in the next live stream. Because like at least the YouTube analytics will like I liked it to make it 20. I see what you're doing, Carlos. You're not getting this just because you're like, give it to the person who gave the 20th like. Oh, by the way, it was me, because I can't trust that you're actually being honest. Never underestimate the determination of nerds wanting dragons. Fact. You bring a good point there, Brett. Okay, so, okay. I may have jumped the gun when I said, I'll pick a winner at the end of this live stream. Like, that's probably not going to happen. I think what'll happen is this live stream will post, and I will pick a winner, and I will announce the winner. Ooh! Gotta roll a D20 to pick the winner. Ooh, that's exciting. Okay, actually, you know what? Let's do this. I'm gonna get a D20. There are 10 people watching right now. There may be more. It's sometimes analytics will like only track people who like watch for like a certain period of time, or I don't know. Analytics are weird. Okay, here's what I'll do then. I'm gonna get a D20. I'll get. Oh yeah, Tom, leave me out of the pick. I already have the book. Yeah. Thank you, Tom, for your honesty. Also, Jessica, sorry, I'm also going to leave you out of the picking because you already have a copy of the book as well, because you backed the Kickstarter back when it was on Kickstarter. So out of fairness, we'll leave you both out of it. But I'll go ahead and get I'll get a sheet put together. I'll roll a D20 to select the winner, and then the winner will be announced in next week's live stream. So subscribe to the channel and stay tuned for that. Obviously, I shouldn't win, so leave me out too. Oh, yeah, because you helped organize this particular giveaway, so that would be unfair. So, yeah. There was a Kickstarter. Oh, yes, there was a Kickstarter. I do my best to do a Kickstarter for the Inktober books that I do. Usually, I do Inktober during October, and then once the month is over, I put everything together into a book in November, and then in November I go to Kickstarter and I post the book up for funding. That's how I've done it for the last like 3 years. This marks sketchbook number 3 in the sequence. The previous 2 books were Witches. Witches was the first, and Gods and Spirits was the second one. Dragons, a Sketchbook was the 3rd in the sequence. But yeah, we'll put everything together. We'll announce a winner in next week's live stream. That said, though, I'll go ahead and post this up here. If this stream and replay gets 40 likes NeverEnding will give a free health potion vial to one lucky viewer. So keep liking this video, because if this video gets up to 40 likes, then we'll give away a free health potion vial. And the health potion vial is like, it's a little thing that we've crafted that has the healing potion hit die inside of it, but it looks like a healing potion. It's a container where you just, boop, and then you roll it, and there you go. It gives you the hit points that you heal. So it's delightful, and I love it. Did we borrow this from Critical Role? Possibly. I'm sure that there were other people who also did this particular craft thing too. It's a delightful craft thing. But we only give away this health potion vial if this stream and the replay gets 40 likes. So this video, this live stream, I should say, will post as a replay shortly after the stream ends. So keep sharing the stream. Hopefully we'll get up to 40 likes. Once we get to 40, we will give away a free health potion vial. Exciting. It's a bit hard to re-like it, but I know I tried. Thank you, Brett. I appreciate your effort. To answer your question about Kickstarter, though, yes, there was a Kickstarter. I do have a Kickstarter profile. And there will be a Kickstarter that NeverEnding will launch next month. NeverEnding is also sponsoring this video. So shout out to NeverEnding. Check them out at beneverending.com or on Twitter at beneverending. We'll be launching a Kickstarter in June. So keep an eye out for that. We got a countdown clock happening on the website. Sign up for the email newsletter. Share the stream. Heck yeah, video likes. Yes, because if we get more likes, we will give away a free health potion for your tabletop needs. I'll go ahead and highlight there. There we go. Okay. I'm going to pause, drink. I've got a couple of minutes left to the stream, so let me just ink a little bit more of this here gorgeous mermaid face. As gaunt as it looks. Pro tip, if you are inking eyes, draw them both at roughly the same time. That way, they will look as similar as possible. And that way you're not getting the weird, like, weird eye syndrome. Weird eye syndrome being like, when you're working on just one eye at a time and one eye looks really, really good and then the other eye is just like jank. To minimize that, draw them both like step by step at the same time. I'm going to add spinal ridges for the eyebrows here. Here we go. And then I'm going to redraw that mouth. There we go. Much better. I will announce the winner of the free signed copy of Dragons' Sketchbook in next week's live stream, so stay tuned for that. This also gives me some time to sort out, like, who does and does not qualify for the giveaway, because some people who are watching this live stream right now already have copies of the book. So I'm trying to give a free signed copy to somebody who does not have the book yet. NeverEnding looks like it will be amazing. Heck yes! Oh, I was excited to back it Monday, but it got moved. Sorry about that. All the promos. Able to join us for Super Art Fight Neo tonight. Oh, yes! Super Art Fight Neo is happening tonight at 8 o'clock. Twitch.tv/ I don't remember the link. Carlos, post the link in the chat because my mind is blanking right now. Anyway, this has been another wonderful stream. Thank you, Jessica. I really appreciate that. Thank you for joining us today. Carlos, post the link to Super Art Fight. Jeez, I'm trying to give you a shout out and I don't remember what the link for Super Art Fight is. Post it in the chat. Jeez, how hard is that? I'm giving you a hard time. It's okay. Okay. Just to reiterate, the winner of a free signed copy of this here gorgeous book will be announced next week during the live stream. Next week's live stream will be happening May 23rd. I had to look at the calendar. May 23rd, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. I will announce the winner of a signed copy of this book. If this live stream gets 40 likes between now and next week's live stream, we will give away a free health potion vial to one lucky viewer. So keep sharing the stream once it posts as a replay. Keep sharing it. Encourage people to like it. And we'll keep the giveaways going. I already did. Okay, I did not see that. It could be just StreamYard glitching and not showing me the link. But anyway, yeah, Super Art Fight. They're also on Instagram. So I'm pretty sure they may have made an announcement. Super Art Fight Neo may have already made an announcement on their Instagram page as to when they're doing their live stream again on twitch.tv. In the chat. Yeah, I see your comment there, Carlos. Okay, but yes, there is a Twitch channel called Super Art Fight Neo. They're having a competition tonight. If you don't know what Super Art Fight is, imagine a mashup between professional wrestling and Pictionary. It's wrestling personas having a draw-off. That's Super Art Fight. And it's delightful. And one of my favorite personalities is Baron von Sexyful. He is absolutely delightful. And he has red-band glasses. And he's got the fuzzy leg warmers. And he wears pink. And he's fabulous. He's one of my favorites. He and Dietanium fought the last time that I watched one of the streams. So if you like that kind of shenanigans, and if you like getting in on surprise inside jokes, check out Super Art Fight Neo. They are delightful. Okay. So yeah, keep liking the video, keep sharing, all that stuff. Twitch, Super Art Fight. Thank you, Carlos. Okay. Anyway, keep liking the video, keep sharing it. The more shares it gets, the more likes it gets, the more likes it gets, the more likely you are to win a free health potion vial. We're already giving away a signed copy of this book to somebody. So that's going to be it for this live stream for now. I'll finish up this mermaid off the clock. Next week, the theme for the live draw is to be determined, but we will pick our giveaway announcements. We will pick our giveaway winners. Excuse me. We'll pick our giveaway winners in next week's live stream. So keep sharing, keep liking, subscribe, hit the notification bell to know when we launch the next live stream. All right. That's going to be it for me for now. Oh my gosh, my throat hurts. But thank you so much for watching. You are awesome.